You're listening to the Bon Ray Show. It's 8 in the evening. Tune in every night at 8 to listen to the Bon Ray Show on Irish News Radio or ITV.ie. And you can contact anything that you've heard or if anything you'd like to discuss at news@irishnews.net. I want to discuss the disgusting, horrible comments of Leo. His pure disgust for the heritage, the culture, the Indigenous people of Ireland. He turns my stomach, the whole government. And the disgust at the Indigenous Irish people and the insults thrown at the Irish people. His latest one is the immigrants are more likely to work than the Irish and pay taxes. His intolerance and his disrespect for the native Irish people turns my stomach. That man needs to be gone with the rest of the government. It is disgusting. Their dislike, their disrespect for the Irish native people who have worked all over the world, who have had a brilliant reputation with the Americans, the English for work. How he turns his nose up at them makes me sick. And how proudly he says that 6 in every 1 are parents who weren't born in Irish. So the Irish will be overrun within such a short period of time. So the Irish will be foreigners in their own home with no work, no place to live. And he's cheering this on. As he says, they're better taxpayers. He turns my stomach. And if people, you don't wake up and stop paying the taxes, stop, go to your employers and stop paying the taxes. We are getting overrun anyway, but you might as well put it into a trust fund until this government is broken down. Put away your money. Go to your employer and say, I'll pay my own taxes. And you're under no obligation to pay the employer. The employer has no obligations to pay. That's up to you. And your work it's actually free. You can't charge for labour because it's like bartering. You're listening to the Bon Ray Show. It's Monday. We're talking about the financial mess of this country on ITV.ie or Irish News Radio. So Monday we like to talk about the financial mess, but it's not really a financial mess as much as an EU mess as how we got into it, and our criminal, disgusting government who would be better off going to Mountjoy and hiring people from Mountjoy, because the criminals that are running this country have no empathy, have no morals, have no humanity for the Indigenous Irish. They are disgusting criminals that are running this country. Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Sinn Féin are disgusting criminals. Mountjoy, I'd have much more respect. Right, we'll talk about a few of the stories and what's been happening over the week. So, travellers' families, seven children in one family committed suicide, and a cousin. Nothing barely said in the media. Imagine this was Africans. Imagine this was Muslims. The war would be up. What happened to those poor Muslims? Been sent all over the world. Oh God, nothing done because they're Irish. They'd gone and they'd begged different councils for help. They were suffering really bad with depression. They had a very bad life anyway. They're living inside a dual carriageway, no running water, no toilets, no electricity. But the government ignores them all anyway. They don't really care. It's like the time that 2 families, 15, burnt up in Carrick Mines. Nothing barely said all over the media. more interested in what was happening with the Muslim refugees at the time. It's disgusting discrimination against our own, and absolutely disgusting disregard for our own people. The travelling community are Irish, are Indigenous Irish, and have rights to be in here, have the most rights other than the Irish, both Irish settled or travelling community have the right to be here. No immigrant from any country has the right. Irish should be put first. They should be put into houses, given electricity, given whatever they want. If they want to travel, fine, but halting sites should be made humane so they have their basic needs, not being put into refugee centres where they want to take them out and put them into Irish homes. It's disgusting, disgrace, criminality and discrimination on the Irish. The other thing that they've come out, the Irish government, has a great idea now of inheritance tax. So people who've worked all their lives, got married young, had children, pay their PRSI, pay their taxes, paid their property taxes, paid the stamp duty, you name it, paid for everything. The only thing that they had to leave was their home. Now the government wants a cut in that, but yet people coming into the country again, you ask them for a cut of their homes that they leave, or they even they're saving up in their own countries to get a home. No, those Africans, and a lot of them have their African homes back home. They're sending money. You ask them for a cut for them? No, just the Indigenous Irish. You want a cut of their inheritance. The only thing that they had, which would, and some of them, you're going to be putting them into debt. Do you even care that you'll put them into a debt by being left a family home? The only thing their parents had left to give them, who've worked all their life and paid all their taxes, you want to cut into that. Criminal, disgusting government. And how we got into this mess is because of the EU. And the guy who's running this disgusting Leo, who was a pimped out from the EU. Not that Kenny or, Simon Covey, who was a Bilderberg, had a Bilderberg secret group. Another disgusting character. Sutherland, another disgusting, thank God he's dead, he's gone straight to hell. The whole lot of them in the destruction of Ireland. An absolutely disgrace. Reading about how 50 boxes in Cork was exchanged to make the Lisbon happen. So what happened was, this man, Mr. Cloughlin, brings a professor from TCD, took the EU to court for interfering in our elections. Now he goes on to say if Cameron had allowed them get involved in the British ones, they wouldn't have voted no. Cameron had the only decency about Cameron. Don't have much respect for him, but the only decency he had was like this vote was for the British people, and the British people are the only ones who could vote on this, and that they're the only ones who could decide their future. It was not going to be an EU person. So he goes on to say the British should be also junker because he's annoyed at the British press and that he's trying to put pressure on them. They can't have free speech because they constantly refer to him as a drunk, which he is, and that his father was a Nazi, which he was. But of course, he's now saying that free speech has to have limits if you're upsetting people. How about you don't stop drinking, you stop becoming what your father was, a bloody Nazi, and creating your Nazi land that your father's dream. Absolutely another disgusting thing. But really it's because of our criminal government. Every single one of them, Michael D. Higgins, a whole lot of them involved in sorrows. We just need a new government. We need to set it up from scratch. We need new courts. We need new police. We need our own Irish volunteers. We need our own schools. We need our own banks. We need to stop paying these criminals because that's all they are, and we need to set up our own banking system. We need to set it up from scratch. Because this isn't going, it might as well be throwing our water into an ocean. Because they're only using your money for destruction of yourself. It's paying for your own genocide. The Lisbon Treaty was quite an interesting one because Ireland voted no. The Lisbon Treaty was a protocol that agreed for Ireland for 2009. So after the introduction of the Irish people rejected in 2008, the introduction of a protocol meant that if the EU wanted to impose any law, they couldn't if it was a confliction to the Irish Constitution before Lisbon. Because our constitution was that we couldn't even be asked about joining another union because it would be null and void, because our constitution was written solid tight to protection of what's happening to us now, because they had foresaw that this could happen, or under a British, I presume they didn't think it was Europeans who'd be doing it, but they foresaw that this would happen to us again, and they had a constitution watertight. But it's all been broken away, and because of the Lisbon Treaty, even though the Irish people said no, and it was thought that it was rigged, the Constitution doesn't stand, it's worth nothing. So the EU law has come in. So they've created a new, it's called criminal justice under the EU. So basically they will be running our courts, and which have. It's getting more and more control. It is globalization. So things that they had to get in was the gay marriage. The gay marriage was very important because it was to break down the family unit, the family in our constitution of what defines a family. So that when they got that, the right to life was the next one they went after, which they've got. There is no right to life. They're even bringing in after-birth abortion. We will have the most ridiculous abortions for any reasons, up to whatever, up to 9 months, and then after birth on certain cases. Absolutely disgusting. Now you think about it. No right to life. If I have no right to life, the babies have no right. Nobody has any. They can create a genocide, which is what they're doing, even through our own stupidity. Because the Irish people haven't woken up to the criminals that are running the country. So that's how we had a fantastic constitution that was destroyed, and that's why they needed to destroy it. And that's why the Lisbon Treaty came in for countries like Ireland. We're in a mess. We're in an absolute mess. It's because of a criminal government. But good news is, there is a way out. We need to set up a new government. We need to take down and forget about traditions of voting Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, or Sinn Féin. Forget about the traditions. We need to start back again. Start restructuring the education. We need our own banking system. We need to create our own banking system. We need our own courts. We need our own judges, our own courts, our own police, our own army, our own Irish volunteers. And we need to create a country within a country. And we need to stop recognising their taxes on us, because we're only paying for our own genocide. Is there any good in that? No. So we start putting our money together. We start having our own banks and having it and separating from the corrupt criminal state, because the way the country is run at the moment, we'd be better off going to Enjoy and giving them a few jobs there, because we'd have better fucking chances than the thugs and the criminals that are running it. Look at Simon Harris, a disgusting man. Simon Harris and Leo, destruction after the cervic cancer and the women dying, and after bringing in murder, the baby, that's so-called children minister, another evil, disgusting criminals. And Michael D. Higgins, another disgusting man, him and Sorrows, and Simon Covey, another disgusting criminal, him and his Bilderberg group. Globalization, destruction of the Irish nation and the Irish people, complete discrimination on the Irish people. It is a horrible, horrible government we have. But the good news is, we can. If we wake up, and wake enough of you up, that we can start. We can start. We can start. And you know, we can do it. If we break this criminal government, that's the first thing we can do. We can trade all over the world. We were liked and loved as Irish people. And then being told we're lazy by that disgusting criminal, Leo. Lazy. We built America. We built England. We were well loved, well liked. We worked like a paddy, that we used to say. How dare you call us lazy? How dare you call the Irish nation lazy? Disgusting criminal person you are. Horrible. Should be fired. Disrespect for the Irish people. Absolutely disgusting. How dare you? I don't even know. I can't stomach any of you. I actually look at the paper sometimes and I look at what's going on and you actually physically feel sick. I don't know what situation. We just have to completely disregard you like you have the Irish. Like you have flooded in. Like all our own Moore Street. All our own Irish sellers. All gone away to history. Destroyed our country. Destroyed Dublin. Destroyed our birthright. This is our right. And that's why the Constitution was written. That we could never be in another union, never be null and void. That until the Lisbon. People say to me it's too late. It's never too late. They were under the UK for 700 years. So they go, it's too late. It's not too late. They got together. And when you stop going, I wish somebody would do something. You are somebody. Do something. We are all somebody. Do something. They didn't sit around waiting for some magical hero to appear to fight back their criminal government. They took them down. What do you think they'd say to us? Get up off your arse and do the same thing. We didn't do it for 700 years for you to give it all away and then stand back and go, oh, it's too late. It's never too late. Get up. Fight. Do whatever you can do. But take a part. Don't sit back and lie back and let these criminals in the government get away with what they're doing. Anyway, thank you for listening. We're going to keep talking. Keep waking people. Give this station out to as many people, even if that's all you do. At least you've done something. It's itv.ie, Irish News Radio. Thank you so much for listening on the Bon Ree Show. And PayPal me and be a part of this growing, exciting journey that we're going to all go on. And instead of being frightened, instead of feeling this defeatist attitude, feel empowered by this amazing station, and we're going to take you on an amazing journey. Feel empowered, even if you just put money into it. Feel empowered. You did something for it. Don't pay those criminals to tell you their lies by paying your license, and stop paying your taxes. Stop giving the criminals your money. It's only for your genocide. They have no interest in you as people. Call you lazy. It's disgusting. Government, stop paying your taxes, stop paying the criminals, but be part of this fantastic journey. Put some money into PayPal me at irishnewsradio.net. The link will be after this, but put money into this fantastic journey and be part of this journey. Don't be part of your own destruction. You're better than that. We are the Irish. We're better than that. Thank you for listening on the Bon Ree Show. itv.ie and Irish News Radio.
You are listening to Irish News Radio and irishnews.net. Email news@irishnews.net.